So happy to have you all here, and happy that I am also given this chance to speak to you, inshallah, about this journey. We are all colleagues, and actually, all of us are learning. Learning never stops. I think one should start with thinking about the niyyah, the cause. Why are we doing all this? Why are we learning or teaching or practicing? We are, as Muslims, actually as humans, we are created for the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. So everything in our life should align with this. And when it's aligned, then it will be an act of worship, even if it was something permissible, something mubah only. It will turn to something that brings ajr, reward to us in al-akhirah. And this good intention will bring the barakah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam يقول من سلك طريقا يلتمس فيه علما سهل الله له طريقا إلى الجنة. Whoever takes a way to acquire knowledge, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make the road to Jannah easy for him. والملائكة تضع أجنحتها لطالب العلم رضا بما يصنع. The angels, they put down their wings because they are satisfied with what the knowledge seeker is doing. So this is very important to have in mind, and of course this will affect our attitudes. Being serious about learning, being having good effort, patience, all of this will stem from the good niyyah if we always remind ourselves. Maybe all of us probably thought about this niyyah, but we also need to remind ourselves from now to then. And this is the purpose of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala making us pray 5 times a day. So always we link to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not enough to have information, but you must put it into practice, and this will make it alive in your heart. And this is one of the special things about Islamic creed. It's something related to worship, related to activation in life. And this also is a very important way to get the barakah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to seek help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ولو أنهم فعلوا ما يوعظون به لكان خيرا لهم وأشد تثبيتا. If they did what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed them to do, it will be better for them, and they will hold firm on that way. Translation is not maybe accurate, but I think it's the general meaning. So this will make us have a higher motivation. We trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our way, that if you seek help from Allah, then He will help you, because Allah is Kareem, Allah is generous. And when you get any knowledge, when you get any skills, when you feel that you are growing in your journey of education, you should also remember that this is a bounty from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're being gifted by Allah Azza wa Jalla. So you don't see yourself that you are arrogant, or you have something that people don't have, because it could be withdrawn from you. How many people got to that stage, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make them go back and forget everything, or at least not activating this knowledge in the proper way. So the humbleness, al-ikhlas, seeking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala satisfaction, these are all important adabs, important manners that the seeker of knowledge should always have. We should always learn about the rewards, the ajr, the hadith and ayat that inspire us towards these meanings, because as I just said, it's something that you must repeat. The Fatiha we read like 17 times a day, and we still read it every day. We never stop, although we all memorize it, because it's not about only knowing the meanings, it's about living the meanings, feeling the meanings. And this is how you get khushu' in salah. This is the main and most important way to have khushu' in salah. After one try to always remind himself of this element. Then there is the element of methodology, so also very important to have a clear view of the goals, and it starts from the previous point, but also then you narrow down the points. You think of how can I worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the best way that please Allah Azza wa Jal, and this could be different from a person to another, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his hikmah, he make the skills distributed between people. So some people are good at memorization, some people are good about theoretical work, analyzing. Some people are good at like helping others. Yani, how many people have gained the ajr of alim, but they are not alim, because maybe they contributed to someone to be a alim, or help him to go to some place to acquire knowledge. And Imam Ahmad, I think his mother said to him, you seek knowledge, and financially I will take the responsibility by my what you call it in English, like making the clothes,
stitching,
by my needle and like this.
Weaving.
Yeah, so subhanallah. And I think Imam Shafi'i also, there is something similar about his mother. So anyway, it's important to have the methodology, and the priorities of one person should be according to his abilities, what the chances are open for him, and the roads, the ways you can take within the road to Allah, the major road, are different. You can take many minor roads. It's important also to have the element of comprehensiveness. So when you think about Islamic knowledge, you don't just think, for example, about fiqh. You should also think about tazkiyah, getting oneself more close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and how to worship Allah in the correct way, and these things. And the purification of the heart and raising it with the iman, increasing iman. Also inside, also you should think about, for example, Quran, and memorizing Quran, understanding Quran, increasing your understanding. Even if one is working about Islamic economics, it might be, he might think that there is some parts of the Quran related to this and the others are unrelated, and this is not true, because you need to acquire the way of thinking and the purpose and the spirit of the Islam, and you don't get this by partitionizing religion. You should take it as a whole. Of course, then you can go to something and take it with a deeper vision, but to have a general knowledge about Islam is very good. And I think in the universities, this also should be considered, meaning that one should not only take Islamic economics, Islamic finance, and then not study Quran or tafsir or hadith. He might not go very deep in these specialties, but to have a general idea is good. Sometimes in some universities, you can't get this comprehensiveness, even if it was a good university and has good curriculums. Some elements might be missing, or they don't have enough consideration or enough focus. So one needs to open his mind also to acquire knowledge from other sources. The masjids and the imams and the people who have durus, lectures inside masjids, or now the big ni'mah of internet, and we have the lectures recorded and all these things. So we should make use of this, especially if it was something systematic that have parts and many lectures, and it takes things comprehensively. So one can build basics and then go level by level, and this is very important, to take things gradually. And Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, he said in the tafsir of the ayah, وَلَكِنْ كُونُوا رَبَّانِيِّينَ. He said, الرباني هو الذي يبدأ بصغار العلم قبل كباره. The Rabbani, who is the one who starts from the small of knowledge before the big. And by small, he doesn't mean that it's not important. He means basics, he means foundations. So you start from here and then you build up. Like the physical building. You need to put good foundations, have a master plan, and then start to put things according to that plan on that foundation.
Think big and start small, like
Sorry?
they say, think big and start
Yeah,
small.
yeah, it begins with needles and these things,
Yeah.
and then subhanAllah it grows big. So academic learning can sometimes leave some gaps. So you need to work out your way to find this out. Also, another element which I see very important is the balancing. You might have an inclination to learn some part of knowledge more than the others. It's okay, and this might open an opportunity for you to serve the religion with this thing you are inclined to. But also you should keep in mind that you have a balance. You should be a balanced person, and you try to take the important things from everywhere, not only one thing, and then close your mind. So open-mindedness, we can call it also. Also, we should understand the diversity inside the Islamic knowledge. Sometimes even there is conflicting opinions. So when you have a good foundation, this should not be a problem for you.
Yes.
Because then you will see what is basic, and this in general should not have a conflict. And then you will see the complementary things, and this can have some room to negotiate or to discuss. And there is something called al-khilaf al-sa'ir, the allowed dispute, the legitimate dispute, maybe you can call it, where you have many madahib in fiqh, and then you should treat these madahibs like it's opportunities. You learn from each of them the best things, and you don't have to. You can stick to one for the purpose of studying methodologically. Because if you try to study all the madhabs together, you might get confused. So it's not bad to start with a certain madhab and take more care about that madhab, but also we need to have open-mindedness. We don't stick very strictly to that madhab in the sense that we refuse anything even if it's convincing. Especially now in the contemporary areas of knowledge, if you try to stick to one madhab, you can face major problems. Yani for example, let me talk a little bit about Islamic finance also. Yani, adding conditions to contractions. This is an issue that is studied in the Islamic fiqh. And majority of the fuqaha, they restrict or minimize adding conditions. So you can say, I buy furniture and I put a condition that you deliver the furniture. But if you put a second condition to hang the curtains and assemble the things, then in some madahib this is wrong. Because they think that it will get you to gharar and these things. But with the complications of contemporary systems of transactions, it's very hard. I think it's impossible to stick to that point. So who said that you can put as much conditions as you can? It's not the Hanbali madhab. Actually, it's an opinion inside the Hanbali madhab. So even the Hanabila, they are not with this. But now the contemporary scholars in the academics of fiqh and these assemblies and conferences, all of them will go to this part of the Hanbali madhab, and they said we must take this part because it's practical. And when you look at the evidence, you can discuss this evidence. You can refute some of the arguments, and some hadith are da'if, and some you can understand in a better way, or things like that. So if we stick to a madhab fully with no negotiation, with no space to think, I think this will complicate our life. And the Imam of the madahib did not intend to make themselves like prophets. Everything is accepted, nothing is wrong. Actually, they opened the door for knowledge and for discussions. Even inside every madhab, you see discussions. Yani Imam Abu Hanifa, he have the Abu Yusuf, and he have the Muhammad ibn Hassan, and sometimes they have three opinions. Everyone has a different opinion. So, and this is in all the madhab. And sometimes by the time it develops, and when they see that the habits of people are changing, then they get back to some of the ijtihadat and try to revisit them. So this point about diversity, I think it's also important, and it's part of the completeness of Islam, because it gives you many choices. It gives you, of course, you should not choose by what you like, because we return to the first point, we are worshippers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what we choose should be in accordance to what's more satisfactory to Allah, which is what's more near to the truth. Sometimes many issues you cannot say 100% correct, but you can approach to that correctness and you can get near to it. And there is a room for that maybe you are wrong, maybe 10% I'm wrong. The other person, I see him as he's not getting to the aim, he's not getting the things correctly, but I also give him room, he might be right. So this way we can tolerate each other and the differences in our opinion. When we try to reach to what is truth with good intention, even if we didn't get it right, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will excuse us. And actually we will get one ajr, one hasanat. If we hit the target correctly, we get two hasanat according to one of the hadiths also. And from that point, we see that Islam also encourages us because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can make everything very strict, and 1 + 1 = 2, and there is no room for thinking. But if things changes in the world, you cannot handle, because you are not used to contemplate and see other choices and weigh things against each other. So this also, I think also it shows us how Islam makes reasoning a very important part of our approach, that we should enhance our reasoning. And here there are some deviations from the reason window. Some people acquire foreign philosophies outside of Islam, foreign methodologies, and they are based on philosophies that are humanistic. So it could be right and wrong, right? So in that sense, if we take these foreigner methodologies, try to enter them, push them inside Islam, we might have wrong results. So when we talk about reason, we should differentiate between the right reasoning, which like Imam Al-Tabari, you have a auditorium room here, it's called Imam Al-Tabari, he calls it fitratul aql, yani the instinct, right? The instinct of reason. So there is something in reasoning which is instinct. It's not, you cannot debate it. This part of aql is actually, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked to the mushrikeen in the Quran, he uses this part, he utilizes this part. So he talked to them with reason, and he called their fitra, their instinct to be activated, and then they can discuss things correctly. So these deviations that happens in some part of the Islamic histories, and we have some wrongful aqaid or such things, should not make us oversensitive to reason. We should still utilize reason within the umbrella of Sharia, within the umbrella of text, Islamic text, trying to get to the right tafsir, to the right, always correcting ourselves. Then we combine this with the reason, and this is perfect. Because when we face changes in the society, changes in how people transact, for example, if we are talking about finance and these things, we should use reason in a correct way. We should make right analogies, qiyas. We should think of the general rulings, maxims of fiqh, which are also based on reason, because it takes many parts and many ahkams, and then it goes to an upper level and try to make a logic from that, which will turn to a rule, a general rule or a maxim. And by the way, this is a very important part of seeking Islamic knowledge. We should not get ourselves lost with many details. Before we know the generalities, before we know the maxims, القواعد الفقهية, أصول الفقه is basically قواعد, but it's قواعد أصولية, meaning it will teach you how to deduct from the text. How do you deal with the text? What is a legitimate text? And these things. So these are rulings also, and also part of them is about reason. When you say istishab, you take what do you call it in English? Prima facie, or what? Prima facie, they call it.
Presumption, is it?
No, it's something that
Prima
is
facie ruling, yeah.
prima facie ruling, yeah. So you have bases and you continue with them, but at some part you might go to another ruling and leave this ruling. And it's also close to istihsan. When you are when you are going with some ruling, but then because of some circumstances you take
go
something
back to
else,
that.
which is famous in the Hanafi madhab. These are some things that I like to introduce. If I want to talk about my journey, maybe there is nothing much to say. I studied in. I started I wanted to be an engineer, chemical engineer. Yeah, and I went to US. I had a sponsorship, and I can study with government support. But then, subhanallah, there I met someone called Abdurrahman al-Laidi. Maybe you heard about him. He's Libyan, and he's a very knowledgeable person. You know the الجامعة الأمريكية المفتوحة, American Open University.
Open University, yes.
Yeah, it's now I think it's closed. But he was one of the main persons there. So he said to me, he saw that I like studying religion. He said to me, why don't you enter this Open University and start with some courses? And subhanallah, he gave me some courses. He was very clever. He told me, start with Hujjiyat al-Sunnah, the legitimacy of Sunnah, and it's yeah. So I didn't know why he gave this advice, but subhanallah, after some years in Saudi Arabia, we started having people challenging us Sunnah. So he was looking forward then. And so I had this car accident when I was on vacation, and
in US.
And I was in Saudi Arabia at that time, vacation. So I transferred to KFUPN. Then after that, I start losing interest a little bit, because I saw that it needs some body work. You cannot just be rely on intellect. You need to work by your hand and get to manufacturers and these things. So I said, why don't I get to my original love, the studying of religion. So my dad said it's okay. He was not so happy, but when he saw me insisting, he supported. Yeah. He go with me to the university. He was a Coast Guard head. He has a very big position in the government. So he used that position to enter me inside this. Alhamdulillah. So I started in Jamiat al-Imam, Bachelor of Sharia. I was trying to study Sunnah in the beginning. But when I went there, one professor told me, to be honest with you, this is not the best college. You can study Sunnah in masjids or other places, but go to Kulliyat al-Sharia. It's a very good college. And subhanAllah, it was good advice. After that, I got the master from the, they call it the Higher Institute of Al-Qada. Judiciary. Yeah, and also there is comparative fiqh. And there we had some substances about Islamic finance, actually. After that, I got my PhD in Umm Al-Qura, and they more focused there on the research skills and these things. And subhanAllah, after that, I applied to many positions. Many of them, they didn't take me, but then the Islamic College of Economy, Islamic Economy, they agreed, and I entered that college as a professor. So I was teaching fiqh al-mu'amalat, the fiqh of transactions. Yeah. So I have some links with the but alhamdulillah after that I got back to Kulliyat al-Sharia. I transferred. So I have the broader, especially as doctor knows, I like research on biomedical ethics and these things. So alhamdulillah, that was the journey in short. It was mainly focused on the university. They have a good methodology. They have a very good methodology in Baccalaureate. It was very intense. We had like more than 200 hours. We go like 8 a.m. and we go out 1:30 p.m. It was like school because you don't choose your professor. You just go and it's like a school. يعني. Now I think they changed their methodology, but it was very good. Alhamdulillah, يعني, I had also some masjids that I visit with some sheikhs and other things I don't study in the university, like tafsir, for example. Also some summer courses in memorizing al-Sunnah, Umdat al-Ahkam, Bulugh al-Maram. Bulugh al-Maram is more about the ahadith of Ahkam, يعني about the rulings on muamalat, ibadat, different parts of Ahkam. So that helped actually, because when I studied fiqh, even if the author doesn't say what is the hadith he's relying on, I can recall it. Because Al-Hafiz ibn Hajar in Bulugh al-Maram, he didn't put it for Shafi'is only. He put it for all madahibs. Even at some part, when he talked about saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, when you read Al-Fatiha. So in Shafi'iyya they pronounce it.
Yes.
Other madahib they don't pronounce it. So he put in the beginning the hadith of I think Anas ibn Malik, when he said, I prayed with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Abu Bakr, Umar and Uthman, and none of them did pronounce the Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In one narrative he said Kanu yusirrun, they say it not loudly. So Al-Hafiz ibn Hajar is Shafi'i, but he started with evidence of non-Shafi'is. Then he brought Abu Hurairah hadith, اقرأوا إذا قرأتم الفاتحة, if you read the Fatiha, say Bismillah ar-Rahman, recite Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, because it's one of its verses. And then the others say it's only it's a saying of Abu Hurairah. It's his opinion. It's not a hadith. And there is a debate, as you know, about that. But see how يعني ulama, they're open-minded, and they don't يعني stick to their madahib in a way that make others like they are deviated or it's not. Of course, in the Islamic history we had some like this, and we had major conflicts. Sometimes they go to government and said this did that and that and that to try to يعني, cause harm. This is a sad part of our history, but it was not like everyone was like this. We should learn from the mistakes and also learn from the righteous attitudes. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant your deep knowledge, inshallah, and use us in serving His religion. What you are studying is very important. If you have the good intention, inshallah, you will have very big rewards, and inshallah you will become leaders in this profession. Bismillah.
Can we have one or two questions?
Sure.
Question answer. So if you want to ask anything, please.